Machine here, and you're watching Thorin's YouTube channel. 20-minute video for 2 minutes worth of content. Gold.
Heroic, obviously mainly known for their Counter-Strike team, which to be fair, hasn't actually even been good in Counter-Strike since basically late last year when they had the core that got bought by Falcons of Dexter, Tessis and Kixan, and then they had Shush, and basically Nertz obviously was like the star player. You go before that, they used to have the really good Cadian lineup with Stown and Tessis that was actually fucking dope in 2013 and very briefly was maybe even the number one team. It was a major contender, could have won a major in 2022. In fact, they had something like 4 majors or 5 majors in a row they could have won, but they just never managed to get over the line. They are now mainly known, not even for what they do in the server. Although, you know what? This last squad they had, even though it's apparently like getting broken up because obviously they sold some Pius and now Saw's gone, so it's probably done so. You know what? They had a sort of mildly canny squad in the server. They could do some things, as you saw against FaZe, IM Dallas, and you saw the odd game at the major that showed some signs. They're mainly now known for just being essentially like engagement bait merchant dickheads who just have an admin, aka their social media bozo guy, and their marketing department, where what they do is they just sit around and do ridiculous Gen Alpha Zoomer tier humour. I'm talking for real, like SpongeBob memes, like little bro thinks she's on the team, all that fucking shit, all the stuff that you never, basically the pure signal noise of the internet that's actually ruined the internet as like a communications device or some place to curate cool and interesting things. And then every moron who has an IQ the same number as their age and it starts with a 1 and then only has 2 digits comes in and goes W, or like does some meme themselves, and then they think if they get more likes on their post than on your original post, even though by the way, what's the relevance of that? Like, I'll never understand that ratio thing, by the way. Like, if my post gets like 400 likes, that means 400 people liked my thought. You having 50,000 wouldn't mean the 400 isn't real. And why would I want 49,500 if they're just utter dunce cretins who are basically impossible to differentiate between from a bot or a literal NPC? Like people who are barely operating on like a cognitive human level. So they're the people that they're most famous for. And it's one of those classic trends, isn't it? Where you yourself just hire either some loser millennial who's like trying to be down with the kids. Spoiler, check your motherfucking hard drive. ASAP, Mr. Policeman. Or you actually, it really is someone with a 1 as the first number in their name and their number only has 2 digits. It really is some bozo teenager. Whereas back in the day, you do honest work like deliver newspapers, maybe fucking shovel shit at a farm, put cans of baked beans onto a shelf, be the guy who goes, would you like fries with that? Oh, wait, did I just do the Gen Alpha meme there? Except I'm talking the literal example, not just saying that to people who are like, people who've made millions of dollars from esports. That's exactly the kind of angle they'd use on me, by the way. Just put the fries in the bag, bro. Mate, after this video, you might literally be putting fries in a bag if I come and visit like Copenhagen or Oslo, and unknowingly, I'll never even know it's you, because that's the most ridiculous thing. So you have these people who do this dog shit style of engagement bait and rage bait, and everything's just a shit joke, and half the time it's not even like, you even do things that are just factually inaccurate, like lol, just lied about history, lol. Now I will say, of the CS orgs, which are really fucking shit at that style, they actually are one of the better ones. But again, that's like being the smartest waitress in fucking Denny's, isn't it? Like, guess what? They're not there because they really think is reading a lot of fucking books, are they, homie? If they even read a book, it's probably about a vampire fucking them, and they're someone who's from the wolf clan, the werewolf clan or some shit like that. It's forbidden by their parents, and they just shouldn't be together. But that's the sort of fucking person. So these people, the Kings used to be G2, but as we all know from a certain incident in late 2022, Carlos got neutered and it clipped the balls of the G2 fucking team because they couldn't be edgy anymore, because the last thing you want to do is a Carlos one again, where you get in trouble with the fucking shareholders and your league spots are in trouble. So obviously now everyone's way safer and they just play into the same memes. And among them, yeah, they're one of the better ones, but I'm frankly very unimpressed with most of those orgs. And then also, they never learn, which is, you know what? You can do that all day about matches. You can do that to pro players. You can do that to commentators, maybe. You could even, there's even some other journalists you could maybe do it to, websites you could do it to, big brands you could do it to. The one person it'll never make sense to engagement bait. Well, actually there's two. There's also Richard Lewis. It's me and Richard Lewis. And the reason why that is because we might do a video like this and get in your fucking arse. And then when we're in your arse, we might not just go, look at this. I think I'm about to do some metaphorical damage there. We might go, let's have a closer look. Ooh, let's get in this motherfucker. And it might get real awkward for you. You might have to metaphorically bite the pillow, which actually, based on some of your later tweets, apparently you might be into. So you might think to yourself, why would you do it? If you're already engagement baiting all over the scene, you've interacted with already Pixel, fucking, I don't know, Lobanjica, whatever, who the fuck knows who they, I don't check who they message. I'm sure they're just all over the fucking place. If you're going to do that, the last thing you want to do is then go into me and Richard Lewis. Remember what they taught you on The Wire? You didn't watch it because that's not, you. The joke is the only show you didn't even watch about it was fucking Breaking Bad because you're a peon. But if you'd watched The Wire, you'd know when it comes to Omar, aka the King, when you come at the King, you best not miss. Spoiler, this video exists because you missed very badly. And then I came in, double action shotgun. Let's settle this now once and forever. Aight? Sadly, you don't know what any of those fucking quotes mean, do you? Because you have a one in front of your name. So you might wonder, why do they do it though, Thorin? Why do they do it? Well, I'll tell you one of the reasons. It's not just to get engagement. There's another thing. It's quite annoying. You'll probably have noticed this with accounts that are like themed accounts or what else would you say? Like trivia accounts. Or quote accounts. Someone will make an account like, nature quotes. Well, you're subscribing because you want to hear some banger nature quotes, one of the greatest thinkers and philosophers of all time. Or maybe it's like basketball stats and you want to see some dope stats of who has the best fourth quarter points in the NBA Finals. So everyone subscribes and they get loads of followers. Not they individually, the admin, would never get those followers on their own personal account with their face and their name. And once they realise they have loads of followers and they build it all up, they go, safe now to abuse this. And like any pathetic human, they abuse the little bit of power they get. And they start making like political posts. They start calling people up, but they're hiding behind this brand of like NBA stats. And so you can't even be like, oh, well, you're this. Actually, who the fuck is that? It's just a stats account. And they'd never get that amount of people, as they know, hence when they don't do it on their personal account, ever see the tweet. It would just be someone shouting into the void in oblivion because these people are irrelevant. Literally, the people watching right now, you couldn't even name who these admins, social media people are. I don't even fucking know. I don't have any interest to even research it, by the way. This is light work for me, homie. This is just on an afternoon. I turn my stream on, put you in the motherfucking ground, piss on the gravestone so you can't even see that it says heroic admin, whatever that means. And then I just fucking on my way, aren't I? Back to being a legend in esports and doing meaningful work, not engagement baiting fucking teenagers to click an imaginary heart, you dunce. And then imagine that somehow was like making money for the org. Well, I'll tell you what, this sort of behaviour that you're about to see, that could actually affect the money your org makes. So, one of the things that they do is they don't just do it to have an opinion. They also do it because if they don't like someone in the scene, this is another way they abuse their power, they just start insulting that person on like a personal level, knowing that they're hiding behind the brand, in this case, heroic. Well, you know what, dickhead? If you hide behind the brand heroic, logically, when I come back at you, I'm not going to come at you, because who the fuck are you? I don't even know. Insert Mad Men meme, another show you probably didn't watch, but is probably closer to Breaking Bad. We're in the elevator, you're fucking Pete, well, no, it wasn't Pete, it was that guy who was the Jewish writer or something who had the crazy hair or whatever. And then I basically go like, or was it actually Pete? I forget. But basically the main Mad Men guy, Don, it's the one where it's like, the other guy says to him, like, I feel sorry for you. And he goes, I don't even think about you. That's basically what it would normally be like. So they come out and they try to attack me. Well, you know what? If you attack me from behind the heroic banner, maybe I'll just fire my metaphorical nukes back at the heroic brand. That would just make perfect sense. So now you've got someone with checks notes like 189,000 followers on Twitter attacking your brand. And you know what? If you start mentioning like my income and my finances, maybe I'll mention your income and your finances. And I'll start mentioning your sponsor names when you're writing stupid shit on the internet. Well done. You've actually successfully gone from marketing into anti-marketing, where now your company is actually having the people who fund understand it, aka pay your motherfucking wages, actually get wrecked. And suddenly sponsors are getting a backlash online, or people are just negatively associating those sponsor names with the shit you write under the Heroic brand banner. And since Heroic has gone out of their way to signal that they're loving their admin and social media, and this is a big part of their strategy, well then you know what, homie, in for a penny, in for a pound, you can all get this motherfucking work. Aight? So, engagement bait with me, and you will see what happens. So here's how it went down, boys. I did a post here that you'll notice doesn't tag anyone from Heroic. What happened was, Just2 US did an interview with youngster, who is actually one of the newer players in the team, came from the Sangal core that they bought over. By the way, I made a whole video about this topic, and spoiler, they just bought a core themselves, so they're not even a team that's developing players like you pretend they all do. So he did this, I think, quite silly, but just ill-advised. He's young, he hasn't done much media, he's trying to build some hype, he just said something silly that doesn't make sense. By the way, prompted by like a journalist who, quite frankly, inserted almost half the opinion for him and baited him into saying it in a weird way. He's just said, like, we're here to prove hard work beats money when it comes to playing Falcons, right? That's the angle we're going with here. Hard work beats money. So I came out and I did this post. I said, what kind of dog shit framing is that? To Monesi and Nico, famously very hardworking players and legends and elite players, do Monesi and Nico not work hard? Okay, kid. Now I'm talking subtweeting youngster there. I'm not even tagging him directly. She doesn't have to get all my followers replying and all the mentions shitted up. I'm just saying, like, generally he's put a comment out in the world. I'm putting my comment out in the world. So in comes their Heroic account, and here's where it all begins. In they come and they go, because I said, okay, kid, they do that thing that idiots, and by the way, these are left-wing cretins, do, where they get so mad years ago, 10 years ago, when people would call them snowflakes for getting mad about pronouns or whatever, that they go, okay, snowflake, because that's what people used to say to woke people back then. Go, all right, snowflake, because you're just so sensitive, aren't you? So they try that on me, like, okay, snowflake. You seen that? All right, snowflake. And here's a little detail I should have mentioned in the intro. Some of these tweets, by the way, aren't even like me, just someone seeing it, firing off a reply straight away. You know, just shower thoughts, fucking throwaway comment. Some of these tweets, I can tell you from knowing about how G2, for example, did their social media, are like an entire like WhatsApp group or like Microsoft Teams or Slack group or Discord group of like 4 to 5 people. Sometimes there's even bosses in there. They're all like brainstorming like it was a fucking madmen coming up with a fucking pitch idea, coming up with crazy ideas. And then we should do that. What if we reference this though, boss? Love that thinking. Great thinking there. See? Put this guy on the fast track to the social admin job. He really knows what he's doing. They're doing all that, and this is the shite they come up with. Like, okay, snowflake. So we've got that one already. So you know what? When someone comes at me, I think you know this, I just mirror their energy. Except I used to just mirror their energy. What I do now is I take their energy, I times it by 10, and I fire it back at them. And I just keep going like that with the timesing by 10 until they quit, metaphorically, are dead, or I just decide not to continue on with it. Maybe I'm just not interested and I have, bigger fish to fry. But little minnows like this, little ankle biker motherfuckers, they'll just be going all day long. So since you've done that and tried to chat shit on me, all good, I'll come in myself. Actually, I've just even realised I don't even come in till later. They actually bait me a couple of times. Even I forgot this detail. So basically, later on in the tournament, I was just watching the major, and then they had LNZ, that Swedish player. Should be LNZ, but they just say LNZ, so it's all good. The one who used to be on an IP and used to get fucking wrecked because he was not as good as, first of all, ZTR, and then secondly, any normal NIP player like Device, for example. So he obviously had a weird, like, bald cut, like that, his face, rather, actually does look quite similar to the engineer from Prometheus. By the way, I'm not even dissing him there. I think the engineer looks fucking dope. So I just said LNZ without hair. Am I wrong? Pretty good likeness. And it's a throwaway comment. Look at the nose. LNZ without hair. Think I've got it, right? So then they sit around in their little group and come up with this crazy banger. Are you ready for the banger they come up with? Thorin, if no one liked him. Now, this doesn't even work because the problem is the joke doesn't quite work, does it? Because think about it, right? What they're trying to say is that since nobody likes me, just means they don't like me, by the way, and they try to like take it out on me and fuck with me because I'm more famous than them and they're a nobody, and using some brand account to do that. They're thinking, well, no, us and the Gen Alpha don't like you, so since nobody likes me, I'd just look the way I am now. Except two things don't work on this. One, that photo is from 2014. It's from literally 11 years ago. It's even from DreamHack Summer, so it'd even be in like June of 2014. And so as a result, if no one liked me, I'd look like how I looked 10, 11 years ago. Doesn't work. I mean, yeah, I became more famous after that. That's not what you're trying to say. And then secondly, here's why it also doesn't work. Because they're like, Thorin, if no one liked him, I'd just look the same. Now you're trying to say, yeah, see, no, it's a scuffed joke. And this is why it's sad, because this isn't like you just take 1 second. Like you actually had to sit and think, and you thought this was like the winner. This was the banger. You thought this one fucking popped. You really thought you did something. You thought you ate, as women say. You thought you cooked, as stupid kids that you appeal to say. So don't worry, when you've come at me a few times, I am eventually going to go in on you. So what I did, because by the way, they be deleting tweets, is I just posted an all-time classic of theirs, which was during an event where it was the last event of the season at the end of CS2. So it was technically the last actual LAN tournament, by the way, which would have been the spring finals. It was in Washington in the USA of Blast. It was the one that actually, by the way, Heroic won. They narrowly beat the Vitality team that had won the Blast Paris Major and IM Rio before that, and they defeated them. They posted this on Twitter. This is how bad these social media managers are, by the way. They took the quote by Donald Trump, which I think is fucking hilarious, one of the funniest things a politician has ever said, although, by the way, he wasn't even a politician at the time, where it got leaked that when he was behind the scenes of, I forget even what show in America, he'd been leaked saying, like, you know, when you're famous, they let you do it. You grab them by the pussy or whatever. And like this, like, obviously then when he became president, that's an outrageous thing to have said, isn't it? So they decided to take what, by the way, it would be insane if he'd been a politician at the time, but when he was just a celebrity, what's obviously potentially an insane faux pas, although he actually did it privately and someone leaked the recordings or whatever with like Billy Bush or whatever the fuck it was. And basically, they decided to take that quote. They thought it'd be edgy, just edit out the two S's on pussy. I wish we could edit the pussy out of Heroic, if you know what I mean. And they decided to take one of their fucking CS players who never said anything like that, and of all the players, shush, one of the coolest guys, not, you know, Stown, who has done some things that are scandalous, Cadian, who as far as I can tell is just a dickhead that once people spend enough time around him, like 4 or 5 people will not like him and will just want him to fuck out of the room. A whole bunch of people who are, he's just a choose quiet, mild-mannered, cool-ass, level-headed shush. And you put his face going as all like, I approve of this message. And you put, grabbed him by the pussy. Now, don't worry. That fucked them up, that tweet, when that originally happened. And they deleted that tweet. Because that's who they are. Oh no, you know, normally the kids say, if you delete, you lose. If you block, you must be the snowflake. You're the one who's just triggered. Lol, look, he blocked me. Badge of honour. This means I said the right thing. Hey, look, I got my certificate that I'm cool. We'll come to that later. There's a little punchline coming on that one. So what I did was I posted this on top of their tweet as a quote retweet, like, grabbed them by the pussy. Like, you know what? If you want to talk shit on me, mate, and say no one likes me, let's have a look at tweets you did. No one liked. And you had to fucking delete, eh? So then, later in the tournament, I decided to actually clap first. What I did was, there was one of those classic posts, it's engagement bait itself, where it goes, what's a sign of very low intelligence? Now, obviously, there's a million things you can put on there, something political, a football player, a celebrity. So I decided, well, you know what? Specifically, these fucking admins at Heroic, they're just fucking 79 IQ golems, aren't they? They're just little trolls. So as a result, I just took, like, the badge and the part of Heroic, because as if, like, when you see that on your timeline, you know some absolute shite, some verbal diarrhea is going to be spewed out with no fucking intriguing element, no cleverness, no creativity, just any old fucking slop that you can piss out out onto the timeline, I put the heroic banner. So they tried to come at me, didn't they? And this is where you done fucked up, because you tried to imply that I'm the one who engagement baits and that I need to do it to make money. By the way, I make like $40 to $80 a month off Twitter. Still better than having nothing. So it's worth paying the $8, isn't it? But fuck all compared to my income, by the way. Like absolutely nothing close to what I make in a year from all my other endeavours. But you're trying to imply, again, with the Gen Alpha stupid logic, like, hey, little bro thinks he knows him. Put the fires in the bag, bro. You're trying to imply I'm the one who makes fuck all money. Checks notes, guy who works social media for Heroic, who's semi-anonymous. I say semi-anonymous, just no one cares to find out who you are. You know, Thorin, the guy who makes, I made a video. I'd made over $400,000 just from doing CS events, mate. I've made 6 figures in euros every single year since 2015. So let me know, motherfucker, if I'm the one putting the fries in the bag. Oh, wait a minute, I still make 6 figures. Woo! How do I do it? You'll never know because you're a fucking bozo posting Zoomer slop. So you decide to come at me on the angle of like my actual income. Me, a legend, the Thorin, the esports historian, who's been around 24 years at this point in time, done it all. 8 world championships. Have you even been in that many world championships, by the way? 8 world championships, 70 plus lands, 3,000 personal videos, something like 200 million hits just on my work alone, not even counting tournament streams. Oh, you want to come at that guy and say, rent you, even though it's you that's doing that behaviour. You're just projecting what you do onto me, and then that's your only angle. It's like, rent, hey, he said he's stupid. Let's post something really stupid in response. Rent you? So you know what, mate? You woke up the fucking tiger now, didn't you, homie? So let's see what happens. Since you're implying I'm broke, I pointed out, because this is true, that back 2 years ago in 2023, before the either I think it was investment or ownership people bought in, your org was publicly begging via the shareholders meeting, etc. They had to have an extraordinary general meeting today for the shareholders of Heroic to try and raise more money. Otherwise, by the way, they would have gone bust as far as I know. They needed 10 million Norwegian kroner, which I'm going to guess is something like, what would that even be? Maybe like $3 million or something like that. I believe they even got something like $3 million. It's needed before the summer. This was in March, by the way. And they need 80 million until the end of 2025, end of this year, just to sustain their business. By the way, how many majors have they won in the meantime? How many trophies do you think they've won in the meantime after this? I think they won 1, by the way. So your org, literal beggar org, you're going, rent you. Your org has to beg for money because you actually can't run a fucking business and you don't have any massive fan appeal. You don't have, you're not a big draw. You haven't got giant sponsors like the other ones. You don't even win in the fucking game. So I put this literal beggar org. By the way, notice, already deleted. You know that rent due one? Yeah, that's been deleted. Don't worry. It's been deleted since I did this. You'll wait and see later on the moment when they quickly scurry back and delete everything. By the way, possibly even so their bosses don't see it. So they don't get into trouble. I'll bet there was a fucking 5-alarm fire going off that inside that fucking group chat you've all got, trying to cover all your tracks before you get your shit pushed in by your motherfucking boss, eh? So then we come to more of their bullshit. Oh, don't worry, because I've dared to call them a literal beggar org. Let's see where they're going to go. Remember what I said about how it's always some shithead no-name Zoomer who runs it, and they're doing it to personally insult me, and then they're hiding behind a brand. So don't worry, they get personally offended and lash out like a teenager would, but they're using a decent-sized CS brand to do it. So what they did is they replied to my tweet with the one about that article from 2 years ago. And this is the best they could come up with. Look, we're going to have to look in the quote tweet, boys, because they deleted this tweet. Don't worry, they don't stand by any of the shit they say. They said, this article is more recent than the last time someone said, I love you to you. Right, so guys, are we following? Right, I am someone who no one likes. I'm a bum who needs my rent by doing a tweet about Heroic, which is obviously going to get crazy traction. And then also, I actually am unlovable, and no one in my life, no one knows anything about my private life. No one in my life ever tells me they love me. In the last 2 years, nobody has said to me, I love you. That's the level we're now going. This is all hilarious banter. Wouldn't that be funny? You know what would happen if no one had ever said that I love you? Maybe after that I'd just unalive myself in Minecraft. Wouldn't that be funny? No one likes him. Put the fries in the bag next to your grave, Thorin. Rent due? Well, it's going to be due in heaven because you're dead. What a hilarious tweet. Do you already see how what I've actually done is I know it's just a little shitter hiding behind the heroic brand. It's not actually people who are clever and interesting and being around the scene. So I know they're triggered and they're reacting like they would if they were in a fucking matchmaking game. And they done fucked up, didn't they, homie? Because you can imagine this motherfucker's deleted. So what happened? You tried to come at the king and you missed. And when you missed, the king came at you. Double action, shotgun. And so what I did is, I looked, wait a minute, it's June. And if people don't know, there's a million this is the month of so-and-so. Oh, don't worry. June is supposed to be Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So what I did was, I thought, fuck it, you're hiding behind the Heroic brand. I said, Happy Men's Mental Health Awareness Month from Heroic and their sponsors. Because their sponsors absolutely are paying for things like socials and how much they care about the org and what sort of a brand, and if it's a brand fit with ours. They're not just paying, you don't even have that many good fucking players in the team, for fuck's sake. You've got idiots like Youngstar, you idiot. Not even an idiot, just he just said a silly thing. A silly person like Youngstar who hasn't even got close to the top yet. So I just did my fucking shotgun blast. Don't worry, again, they deleted the tweet very shortly afterwards. But if you know me, again, I times by 10 and send it back. So I also did this banger. I put, Thorin, your social media manager is stupid. The official Heroic TM account powered by Zowie and its partnership with Polkadot. Oh yeah? Well, your mother sucks cocks in hell. Because that's basically the level they're tweeting on now, boys. That's how fucking insane this has gotten. But don't worry about any of that. Because absolutely, back to the Danny DeLito, innit? Where's it gone? Where's that tweet gone? That hilarious tweet about how no one says they love me. Deleted, is it? Unavailable. But as I always point out, don't worry. I keep the receipts. I do keep the receipts though, don't I? Oh, what's that? Did my post get 600 likes and it got 300? I be doing work in your fucking world, dickhead. By the way, I've had literally entire weeks, it's happened something like 15 weeks, where I've just trended the whole week on all of Twitter, not even just esports. I'm better at this shit than you, and I do it authentically without stupid engagement bait. Oh, by the way, do you want to know a little joke? Let's look at it, shall we? Let's look at something funny. That's weird. That's already gone. What we'll do is we'll look at the main Heroic page a second. Wait a minute. I can only mute, block, or report them. That's weird. Let's investigate. Why can't I follow? Why can't I follow or DM them? And this only happened, by the way, after I did that post there where I fucking clapped them. So we go down. Oh, by the way, less followers than me. An old irrelevant boomer who should put the fries in the bag and no one cares about. You just did some shit in 2002. Why do I have more followers than you? You have an entire team of people doing this. So let's go down. You know what Elon Musk implemented? They tell you if you're blocked. Now, I don't do that thing. I've never posted this online. I don't say, oh, you're soft, you blocked me. Because you know what? You can block anyone. And actually, personal accounts, I think, should block people if you find them really offensive or you just don't want any of that. You don't want some dickhead tagging you or something and fucking up all your mentions. That's totally fine. So I used to block loads of people. Unblock the majority of them now, except real lunatics. So, wait a minute. Your super banter lords, the most hilarious people of all time, your super banter lords have blocked me. So what you've done is, once you tried to go back and forth, you've lost a bunch of times in a row. LLLL. Sounds like Heroic in a fucking best of 5 on LAN. You've lost all those times. So you've deleted the tweets quickly, and then you've blocked my account so I can't tag and quote treat anymore your shit because you couldn't take it. Because I was clapping you every motherfucking time with those quote retweets to my bigger fan base, making you look like hot dog shit. So you've done the old block and delete it all. But here's the funny thing. Who is Heroic? They're the banter lords, right? They're the ones who make other people block because they can't take it. Oh, that's weird. Is Heroic the org that was then going, Heroic blocked me for being homophobic on the 1st of June in 2023. Oh, you're making fun of people blocking. Well, by that logic, mate, you're mad You're blocking me because you can't take me, Checksnow's bantering with you, and your job is social media manager who's supposed to get engagement for big accounts and go backwards and forwards for really funny, this is fucking wrestling, kayfabe, this is totally funny. But you couldn't take it, so you quit. You quit, homie. You, get me out of there. You're going to break my arm. Get me out, I'm tapping out. I'm tapping out, bro. Throw in the towel, I'm dying here. Heroic taps to strikes as Thorin fucking ground and pounds them. Oh, but you were making fun of that, right? That was funny to you. You know what? Let's get into some other shit, shall we? Let's get into some other shit. Because you know what? Days earlier, they had this video, Admin Unhinged. It's on the 4th of June. I think it was something like 11 days earlier. And in this video, they even have a part where it's like, let's see. It's all about how their shit poster admin has all the logins and he's doing crazy stuff. And you're going to see something in a second that's quite interesting, aren't you? They even literally imply as a joke he might be autistic, he might be on the spectrum. That's funny to them. And they're talking about how they were generally concerned about the health of their partnerships. Be a shame if someone used that against you later and fucking body bagged this exact fucker, wouldn't it? So look, he's joking about how, co-workers are coming like, you got to fire this guy. So he gave him an ultimatum. But they just stared at me. They think this is like me. This is aura. It's aura, bro. I hope I haven't skipped the part. It's going to come in a second, I think, right? By the way, this is actually very appropriate. It's just they're doing it as a meme, aren't they? Oh, look, that was my tweet. Oh, he was even fighting with Thorin on Twitter. Next thing you know, they're fighting with Thorin on Twitter. Next thing you know, they're fighting with Thorin on Twitter. It's like they forget that there's a real business behind the memes. Oh, how rich. Oh, what is that? Foie gras with delicious strawberry jam on a very fine cracker. That's too much for me. It's too rich for me. Sorry, that's way too rich for me. No, actually, a bit more, please. And some Prosecco to wash it down. I think I will. So then, this is where it gets fun. I thought, you know what? I don't know who their marketing people are, their admin. Who the fuck cares? But maybe I'll have a look. Have any of their people that work for Heroic said any stupid shit about me? Okay. Well, we had this guy here back in May when they launched the new Heroic jersey. Someone who is let's see, he is the marketing and production manager at Heroic, a whole 540 followers. He tags me, even though this would only be seen by people who follow Heroic and me, and goes, Thorin already got his, where is mine? Because that's what incredible banter lords these people are. Then how about this one? This guy down here, Kaji, he is the data analyst and consultant marketing for Heroic, 155 followers. Motherfucker, I have more than 100, way more than that, more than 1,000 times more than you. So when I made this post where Anna came at me, after I just pointed out she was the worst in that game against Na'Vi and she was the female player of the year and she went just a bad day, but I guess clowns like you never change. So then when she did absolute shit over ages on LAN and is absolute dog shit, I just pointed out, if I'm a clown, then she is a comedian. Also blocked me, by the way, because her game thus far is a fucking joke. Great banter. This loser goes, never understood the purpose of harassing people online like that. Oh, right. Marketing division of Heroic doesn't understand why you would harass people. Then the marketing division of Heroic, which is represented by the fucking social media account, is saying stuff like, no one likes you, nobody has said they love you, and you're essentially a bum and you're desperate for your rent. Oh, you don't like harassing people, you fucking twat. Why putting pressure on her in this way? Oh, by the way, marketing division of Heroic really cares about women. The ones grabbed her by the pussy. Grabbed her by that fucking pussy hole. Because you won a match in the fucking game, you losers. And let's actually look at when they tried to be cool. Do you remember also in 2023, marketing division of Heroic, they said, Happy Pride Month, gamers. Same month, by the way. Not gamers, gamers. Everyone gay, happy Pride Month. Okay, do what you want with your brand. Then they did this strike where they attempted to like cry and be the victim and go, homophobic CS players, and the replies when they see Heroic has a rainbow logo. Don't worry, I clapped them all the way back then. I just put, keep that same energy when you're in Saudi Arabia. Because if you don't know, they were attending that tournament, weren't they? Gamers 8. That one that was the one before EWC in Saudi Arabia. What does Saudi Arabia do to gay people, you fucking idiot? But if it's someone on Twitter, you'll talk mad shit about blocking them and how like, you're a homophobe. Oh, will you go and tell MBS and the fucking Saudis they're homophobes, will you? Will you check why they're putting people in prison and or killing people? You fucking imbecile. So I'll point it out, spoiler, you won't. And then if you go here, look, Gamers 8, obviously that's in Riyadh, innit? Gamers 8, Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, that's you in Saudi Arabia. Lover of gay people. Supporting gay people online wherever possible. Definitely love gay people. Would stand against anyone who even said something against gay people. But if you were to imprison and kill gay people, then you'd probably just work with them for money because you guys are really cool and have all social causes you stand for, don't you? Let this be a lesson. Fuck around with me, you might get fired. You know, I'm always rep my set, and the people who've got my back are the following people who support my videos. Matt Pugnatio Rajcula, Jasun, Jensen Goh, Tosh, Thooorin, and you know, the all-time ride or die, Jerky's Minion, isn't it? Special thanks to him. Do you want to suggest a topic or a guest for my content? Want to find out who the upcoming interview subjects are? Do you want to take part in one of those long discussions with me where you set the topics? Maybe you want to ask me a question for my video AMA? Well, all of those perks and more are available where? At the Patreon link in the description box below. So put your money where your mouth is and join the Scroominati today. You dig?